We search for strength in the body but often forget that true power begins with how we care for our inner world. The feeling of being drained is a signal, a call for deeper alignment, not just more water. The final shift in perspective I will share is the key that unlocks it all, so I invite you to stay with me on this journey. It will change everything. Empty cup. We live in a world that is always telling us to add more weight to the bar, add more hours to the workday, add more tasks to our list. And so, when we feel a lack of energy or a weakness in our physical structure, our first instinct is to follow this same pattern. We think, what can I add? What supplement? What powder? What magic pill will solve this for me? This is the mindset of a full cup. A cup that is already overflowing with ideas, with assumptions, with a frantic need for a quick solution. But wisdom cannot be poured into a full cup. Before we can truly receive, we must first be willing to empty what we think we know. The question is not, what should I add to my water? The first and most important question is, am I ready to listen to what my body is already telling me? This process begins with stillness. It begins with creating a space in your day and a space in your mind to simply observe. How does your body feel when you wake? How does it feel after a meal? How does it feel in the late afternoon, when the energy of the day begins to shift? We are often so disconnected from these subtle signals, treating our body like a machine we need to fuel, rather than a living, breathing ecosystem that we are a part of. The pursuit of strength and hydration is not a battle to be won. It is a dance of harmony to be learned. It requires us to put down our weapons of force and control and instead to learn the rhythm of our own nature, to understand what the body truly needs. We cannot shout at it with more and more inputs. We must become quiet enough to hear its whispers. So the first step is not to run to the store. The first step is to sit, to breathe, to acknowledge the state of your inner world. Are you a dry, cracked earth, desperately trying to soak up any water you pour onto it, only to have it evaporate? Or are you a swamp, stagnant and heavy? Acknowledging this without judgment is the key. We are not blaming ourselves for this state. We are simply observing the starting point. This is the act of emptying the cup. It is a gesture of humility. It is telling the universe and telling your own body that you are ready to learn. You are setting aside the noise of the outside world with its promises of instant results, and you are turning your awareness inward. Because the most profound answers are never found outside of ourselves. They are already there, waiting for us to become quiet enough to listen. This journey we are on is one of self-mastery, and self-mastery is not about dominating the self. It is about understanding the self. It is about becoming such an intimate friend with your own body and mind that you can anticipate its needs. You can feel the subtle shift that calls for rest or the gentle hum of energy that asks for movement. This is a level of sensitivity that cannot be developed when the mind is cluttered. So before we even speak of water or of salt, or of anything you might add to it, we must first commit to this practice of emptying, of letting go of our frantic search for a solution outside and beginning the patient, quiet search for the wisdom that lies within. This is the foundation upon which all true, lasting strength is built. It is the fertile ground where real vitality can finally take root and grow. Flowing river. Now, let us consider the nature of water itself. We think of it as a simple substance, H2O. A utility for survival. But in many traditions, water is seen as so much more. It is life. It is the ultimate symbol of adaptability, of yielding power. Water can be soft and gentle, yet it can carve through the hardest stone. It does not fight. It flows. It finds the path of least resistance, and in doing so, it overcomes all obstacles. This is the quality we wish to cultivate within ourselves. When we speak of hydration, we are not just talking about putting liquid into the body. We are talking about restoring this flow. We are talking about transforming the inner landscape from a stagnant pond into a living, moving, flowing river. A body that is truly hydrated possesses a certain quality of movement, a certain suppleness. The joints move freely, the muscles are pliable and responsive, not stiff and brittle. The mind, too, is clear and fluid. This is because every single process in our body, from the firing of a neuron to the contraction of a muscle, depends on this internal flow. When we are dehydrated, it is not simply a lack of water, it is a state of stagnation. The river within us has slowed down, become thick with sediment, and the life force cannot move freely. This is why we feel sluggish, why our thinking becomes cloudy, and why our physical strength diminishes. We become like a plant that has not been watered. We become rigid and fragile. The mistake many of us make is to approach this problem with force. We hear that we should drink 8 glasses of water a day, so we force it down, often without real thirst, without any real connection to the act. The body, if it is not prepared to receive this water, can be overwhelmed. Imagine pouring a bucket of water onto dry, compacted soil. Most of it will simply run off the surface. It cannot be absorbed. The same is true for our bodies. If our cells are not in a receptive state, simply flooding the system with plain water is not the most effective path. True hydration is about helping the body, at a cellular level, to actually absorb and utilize the water we provide. It is about turning that dry, compacted soil back into a living sponge. This requires a shift in our understanding. We must see our body as this living ecosystem. The water we drink is not just filling a tank. It is replenishing a vast network of rivers and streams that carry nutrients, that remove waste, and that facilitate communication between every part of our being. When we begin to see it this way, the act of drinking water becomes a conscious act of nourishing this ecosystem. We are not just hydrating, we are cultivating flow. We are inviting the qualities of water, its persistence, its clarity, its gentle power, to become a part of us. And as we do this, we begin to notice a change not just in our physical energy, but in our entire way of being. We become more adaptable, more resilient, more able to navigate the challenges of life with a sense of ease and grace, just like the flowing river. Inner ocean. To understand how to make our water more effective, we must journey deeper, from the river to the ocean. We must understand the environment in which our cells live. Every cell in your body is essentially a tiny aquatic creature. It lives and breathes and functions in a fluid environment known as the extracellular matrix. This is our inner ocean, and this inner ocean is not made of pure, fresh water. It is a saline solution. It is a complex, carefully balanced broth of water, minerals, and electrolytes. This is a profound truth. Life on this planet originated in the salty oceans, and in a way, we carry that ocean within us. The very fluid that bathes our cells has a composition remarkably similar to seawater. This is the key that so many people miss. They focus on the water, but they forget the sea. When we drink large amounts of plain water, especially after sweating and losing minerals, we can actually dilute this precious inner ocean. We can flush out the very electrolytes that our cells need to function correctly, and most importantly, to hold on to water. An electrolyte is a mineral that carries an electric charge. These charges are what allow our nerves to fire, our muscles to contract, and our cells to maintain the proper balance of fluids inside and outside their walls. Without adequate electrolytes, the water we drink can pass right through us, without ever truly hydrating the cells that need it most. This is why a person can drink gallons of water and still feel thirsty, still feel dehydrated at a cellular level. The feeling of strength, the ability of a muscle to contract with power and precision, is entirely dependent on this electrical potential, on this perfect mineral balance in our inner ocean. Think of it like a battery. Your body is a battery, and the electrolytes are the charge. When the charge is low, the lights are dim. The power is weak. Replenishing this is not just about adding liquid, it is about adding the right minerals in the right proportion to restore the charge. This is a wisdom that ancient cultures and even animals in the wild understand intuitively. They are drawn to natural salt licks, to mineral-rich water sources, because they know instinctively that this is what is required to maintain the life force. In our modern world, we have become disconnected from this intuition. We are often told that all salt is bad, that we should avoid it. This is a dangerous oversimplification. Industrial refined table salt, which has been stripped of all its companion minerals and bleached, is indeed a foreign substance to the body. But the unrefined, mineral-rich salts from the ancient seas and mountains are a different thing entirely. They are not just sodium chloride, they are a complex symphony of dozens of trace minerals that our inner ocean craves. Understanding this distinction is the difference between poisoning the sea within and nourishing it back to its full, vibrant, life-giving potential. Our goal is to remineralize our internal environment so that the water we drink can find a welcome home. Subtle salt. And so we arrive at the first part of the answer, the first element we can add to our water. It is not a complex powder or an expensive supplement. It is something ancient, elemental, and powerful. It is a small amount of high-quality, unrefined sea salt or rock salt. The key words here are high quality and unrefined. This means we are seeking out salt that is still in its natural state, rich with the full spectrum of minerals that were present in the water from which it came. Pink Himalayan salt or a good quality Celtic sea salt are wonderful examples. These are not the sterile, harsh white crystals you find in most salt shakers. They are foods containing not just sodium and chloride, but also magnesium, potassium, calcium, and dozens of other trace elements that the body needs. The amount we use is critical. We are not trying to make the water taste salty. The principle here is subtlety. A small pinch, a few crystals, just enough to change the structure and mineral content of the water without overwhelming the senses. A good guide is to add just enough so that you cannot consciously taste the salt, but you can feel that the water has more substance, more body. It feels wetter, more satisfying. This is your intuition telling you that you are giving your body something it recognizes, something it needs. It is like adding a single drop of a potent medicine to a glass of water. The effect is not in the quantity, but in the quality and the information that it carries. This practice is especially important at certain times of the day, upon waking in the morning, for example. After a long night's sleep, our bodies are naturally dehydrated and our mineral stores are lower. A glass of this structured, mineralized water can be a profound way to reawaken the system, far more effective than plain water or even coffee. It is like a gentle rain on the dry earth, preparing it for the day ahead. Another crucial time is before, during, or after physical exertion. When we sweat, we lose not just water, but also these precious mineral salts. Replenishing them together is the only way to truly rehydrate and ensure our muscles have what they need to recover and grow stronger. But this is more than just a physical technique. It is a shift in mindset. We are moving away from the idea of salt as an enemy and embracing it as a fundamental component of life. We are honoring the wisdom of the body and its connection to the ancient ocean. By adding this pinch of unrefined salt, we are making a conscious choice to remineralize our inner world. We are telling ourselves, I am providing you not just with water, but with the elements you need to thrive. This simple act, performed with awareness, can begin to restore a deep sense of balance and well-being. It is a small step, but it is a step back towards our own nature, back towards the elemental harmony that is the true source of all strength. Sun's gift. While the mineral-rich salt addresses the needs of our inner ocean, there is another element we can introduce to elevate our water even further. If the salt represents the earth and the sea, this next element represents the energy of the sun. We can think of this as the life force, the spark that animates. And the simplest, most natural way to invite this into our water is with a small amount of freshly squeezed citrus juice, most commonly from a lemon or a lime. This is not for flavor alone, although the flavor it adds is certainly refreshing. We are adding it for the information and the energy that it contains. A lemon is a vessel of condensed sunlight, a culmination of the tree's interaction with the earth, the water, and the sky. When we add a squeeze of fresh lemon to our mineralized water, we are doing several things at once. On a purely physical level, we are adding vitamin C and other antioxidants, which help to protect the body from stress. We are adding citric acid, which, despite being acidic outside the body, can actually have an alkalizing effect once metabolized, helping to balance the body's overall pH. But on a more subtle level, we are adding a living quality to the water. The water is no longer just a solvent for minerals. It becomes a carrier for the vibrant, energetic properties of the fruit. It is like taking a simple, plain canvas and adding a splash of bright, living color. This combination of unrefined salt and fresh lemon juice in water creates a synergy. The salt provides the fundamental structure, the minerals that our cells need to communicate and hold onto water. The lemon provides a kind of energetic cleansing, a boost of vitality that helps the body to utilize those minerals more effectively. Together, they create what is essentially a homemade, perfectly balanced, all-natural hydration and electrolyte drink, one that is far superior to the brightly colored, sugar-laden sports drinks sold in stores. This is a drink that the body recognizes at a deep cellular level. It is food, it is medicine, it is life. Preparing this drink should be a simple, mindful process. It is not a chore. It is a small ritual of self-care. You take your glass of pure water, you add your pinch of ancient salt. You take a fresh lemon, a gift from the sun, and you squeeze a small amount of its juice into the glass. You stir it gently, not with a frantic motion, but with intention. You are consciously creating a beverage that is designed to nourish you on every level. This small act of care, repeated daily, has a cumulative effect. It sends a powerful message to your subconscious mind and to your body. You are worthy of this nourishment. You are worthy of this care. This message alone can be as healing as the physical ingredients themselves. Mindful ritual? Now we have the components, the water, the subtle salt, the gift of the sun. But the most powerful ingredient is one that you cannot buy. It is the one that you must cultivate within. It is your awareness. It is the intention with which you perform the act. You can have the best water, the best salt, the best lemon in the world, but if you prepare it and drink it mindlessly, while scrolling on your phone or rushing out the door, you will receive only a fraction of its potential benefit. The true transformation occurs when the preparation and consumption become a mindful ritual, a moment of presence in your day. This is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. So, when you prepare your water, be present. Feel the coolness of the glass in your hands. Observe the salt crystals as they dissolve, disappearing into the water but changing its very essence. Watch the cloud of lemon juice as it swirls and diffuses, bringing its light into the mixture. This is not empty time. This is a practice. It is a meditation. You are focusing your mind on a simple, life-giving task. In a world that constantly pulls our attention in 1,000 different directions, this act of singular focus is a radical act of self-preservation and peace. It calms the nervous system and prepares the body to receive nourishment. Then, when you drink, do not gulp it down. Take a moment, look at the water, acknowledge what it is. A carefully prepared elixir for your well-being. Take the first sip slowly, feel the texture of the water in your mouth. Notice the very subtle tastes. Feel the coolness as it travels down your throat and into your body. Try to imagine it being absorbed, replenishing your inner ocean, reaching every cell with its life-giving properties. This is not just a fantasy. By focusing your mind in this way, you are actively participating in the process. You are directing the energy of your own consciousness to support the physical act. The mind and body are not separate. They are one system. When you align them with a single positive intention, their power is magnified. This ritual can be performed at any time, but it is especially powerful in the morning as a way to set the tone for the day, or in the evening as a way to replenish and restore. The over 6 in the title of this discussion could be interpreted in many ways. It could be after 6 p.m. when the body is winding down and shifting into a state of repair. It could be for those of us over a certain age who find that our bodies require more conscious support to maintain their vitality. It does not matter what the number means. The principle is universal. The principle is that when we combine the right physical ingredients with the right mental state, we create magic, we create healing, we create strength from the inside out. This ritual is the practice of that principle. It is the embodiment of the idea that how you do anything is how you do everything. True strength. Finally, we must redefine what we mean by muscle strength. The common view is one of sheer size and force. It is about how much weight you can lift, how big your muscles are. But this is a very limited and ultimately fragile definition of strength. A large muscle that is dehydrated, full of adhesions and disconnected from a clear nervous signal is not truly strong. It is just big. It is brittle. It is prone to injury. True strength is not about size. It is about quality. It is about resilience. It is the ability to generate force efficiently, to move with grace and precision, and to endure over a long period of time. It is the strength of the bamboo, which can bend in the wind without breaking, not the strength of the old oak, which stands rigid until it shatters. This quality of resilient strength is built from the inside out. It begins at the cellular level. When your inner ocean is properly mineralized and hydrated, your cells function optimally. This means your muscles can contract more effectively, and just as importantly, they can relax more completely. This ability to fully relax is a crucial component of strength that is often overlooked. A muscle that is chronically tight is a weak muscle. It is a muscle that is holding on to metabolic waste and is starved of proper circulation. The mindful hydration practice we have discussed helps to flush the system, to restore flow, and to allow the muscles to enter a true state of rest and repair, which is when they actually grow stronger. Furthermore, true strength is about the connection between the mind and the body. The nervous system is the bridge, and as we have discussed, the function of the nervous system, the transmission of electrical signals from your brain to your muscles, is entirely dependent on the proper balance of electrolytes. By tending to our inner ocean, we are literally improving the clarity and power of this communication. Your intention to move becomes a cleaner, stronger signal. The result is not just more powerful contractions, but also more coordinated and efficient movement. You become less clumsy, more graceful. You waste less energy. This is intelligent strength. This is the strength of a master, not a brute. So, as you undertake this practice, do not just look for changes in the mirror or on the scale. Pay attention to the change in quality. Notice the feeling of suppleness in your joints in the morning. Notice the endurance you have in the late afternoon. Notice the clarity in your mind and the calm in your spirit. The physical strength is a byproduct, a beautiful manifestation of a deeper inner alignment. It is the visible sign that your inner ecosystem is healthy, that your river is flowing, and that your mind and body are working together in harmony. This is the strength that supports a long, healthy, and vibrant life. It is not a fleeting, superficial power, but a deep, resilient vitality that becomes a part of who you are. This journey was never truly about a secret ingredient to add to your water. It was about a shift in consciousness. It was about learning to see your body not as a machine to be fixed, but as a sacred, living ecosystem to be tended to with care and awareness. The salt, the lemon, these are merely tools, pointers back to an ancient, simple wisdom. The real secret is the mindfulness, the intention, the loving attention you bring to the process. It is the act of aligning your inner world that creates all the strength, vitality, and peace you seek in the outer world. I've been chugging water for years thinking more is better, but always felt bloated and somehow still thirsty. The concept of the inner ocean and realizing my cells were likely starved of minerals just made everything click into place. It's not about forcing water in, it's about making your body a welcoming home for it. This is a life-changing perspective. Thank you for this profound wisdom.